You know, the truth is it's the love, the warmth. We're not just about cooking the fish or the seafood. We want to see families come together and enjoy a great meal. If you're just going to be cooking to get monetary rewards, it does not make sense. Find something else. You must have the passion, because how you cook and what you cook, the end results will tell just where your heart is. Hi, I'm Donette Prendergast from Prendergast on the Beach. This is the Maggi Magician Cooking Lessons. I started by cooking for kids. My other half is a fisherman, and we always say we want to cook, let the world taste how good this is. So we used to cook for some kids down by Dumbo Holding, and then it got from kids to grandmother, grandfather, and the whole entourage, and then Prendy's evolved. I've been doing fish, seafood for the last 20 years, professionally that is, and it's an awesome experience. It's good when I see people enjoy the food. We have our red snapper here, already washed. We're gonna go to the flavor box for our Maggi fish seasoner. We're going to add to our fish. Already sliced. It's nice to get it in between for flavor. Alright, now we have our garlic already peeled. We have the cloves. I normally pop them because I like to release the aroma and the essence of the garlic. Then that's put into our pot, which already has oil. Now, frying fish, there's a technique to it. It is the temperature of the oil that is important. I've added my scallion. I'm going to add a spring of thyme, and most importantly, my Scotch bonnet pepper. It really adds flavor to the pot. Now my snapper is already seasoned with salt and of course my Maggi fish seasoner, which adds a real great flavor. Woo! Now I'm going to also use your Maggi all-purpose seasoning, as I'm going to be doing brown stew. So just get it ready there. Thank you, Maggi, for the flavor box. It really adds flavor to the pot. I'm going to prepare this other fish now to be brown stewed. Of course, we're going to use our Maggi fish season up for that added touch. So we're going to add, and we're going to rub And we're going to add to the pot. While that's being done, we can go ahead and start for the brown stew. We're going to prepare our onion, which is already washed and stripped. Garlic, not too fine, not too big. Sweet pepper, I like to use colored because it adds color to the pot. Don't cut it too thick either. Semi-rings, tomato that was washed already. I always like to de-seed. Just about 3 because it's one fish. So half of the tomato is good. Seeds removed. I like to get the oil in between where the slices are so it's soaked right to the bone. I don't fry a fish dry unless a customer asks. I like to have some what we call succulent. So it aids in the meat of the fish being processed, being cooked. I use wood fire because it gives the fish a far better cook and it's more economical. A coal burns out very easily and causes the oil to go flat and your fish to sog. So if you notice my fish is golden, nice and golden, this will be out in like 2 minutes. And I'll do the same. This one is going to be brown stew. As a matter of fact, I'm going to brown stew the first one. I'm going to brown stew that one instead. Why? Because if you notice, this one is a little drier than this. So this is even nicer to brown stew. Okay, I'm removing the fish. I'm going to replace it on a drip pan where it will drain the excess oil because I'm a stickler for my fish not having that oily liquid at the end. You notice how golden brown it is? This is ideal for brown stewing. So as soon as this one is finished, we will do some brown stew. Alright, we can now add bami because the pot, the temperature of the pot, the oil is right. Now, these is very, very important that you pay attention to these things. My bami is already soaked, and I like to cut in 8. So I have small triangles, bite size, basically. And we try to put them all at once so you get an even drop. And it's excellent bami, so it cooks in no time. Very little time is needed. Again, we're going to get some oil in the crack. Especially when you're cooking a fish that is fat, like this one is. When you hold a fish up, I'll show you shortly, you can know if a fish is fleshy or not. I'll just remove this. Quickly we'll do some plantains as we watch the bamis. Give a one turn and then out. Alright, so we're going to start taking out. Bami. In about 5 minutes we can take this out. We're going to know the plantain because I'll have to decrease the temperature of the fire for the festival. Just finish. So we'll do 1, 2, and we'll keep that right. I'm gonna do some festival. The dough was already made. Because you know you can't have fried fish without festival and bami, right? Or you shouldn't. It goes well together. Alright, there's a technique, and I'll show you in the next roll. Watch me. So it's a round, like you'll be doing a fried dumpling, and then you go long. Ensure that it's not sticking to your hand. Then you use a finger, your thumb, and you pull, because it's in the stretch. That is very important. Alright, we're going to remove this fish now. That will be plated. It's your fried fish. You're gonna pay attention now to the plantains, that they just come out golden. And the festival as well. Once you see the festival start to rise, and you see like little bubbles, pockets of bubbles coming up, then you know it's time to turn. So I'll just rest this here. We can do some vegetable mix. See, so you roll like you'd be doing a fried dumpling, donut cake. Then you go long. Just say it's important that you don't have it sticking on your hand. Use your thumb to stretch, then into the pot. Plantain is golden, so we can now remove. You know when your festivals are ready, as I said, because you'll see pockets of air coming up, bubbles. And your festival is supposed to be nice and light. So even though this one went in first, because it didn't get the stretch that it ought to get, these are ready before it. So we have vegetables here. So we're going to get ready for our brown stew. We can come back to plantain at the end, or as a matter of fact, since it's already, the pot is on, instead of wasting it, let us just get it going. We have 1, 2. So let's not waste it. Variety in your cooking is very, very important. So you have different cuts that you can use, and it gives value and to your presentation, which is important when you're dealing with foods. So in about 5 minutes we can get that off, and then we'll put our pot on for our brown stew. While that's being done, I'm going to Maggi fish season up. We're going to add the Maggi season up all purpose as well, which gives a good combination. It's one fish, so you're not going to use a lot. We're going to use a little ketchup. Okay. I'll dice the carrots. You don't want to cut them too thick. And you can just cut them in 2. Plantains to be turned quickly, as you don't want them too brown. This is a little browning, just a little, because you know it can be bitter. We're going to remove the plantains now. No, they can stay a little more. Let's check. All right, you can come out, so can you. It's sweet plantain, so it doesn't take long to cook. So that's ready. All right, so we're going to remove this pot from the fire totally. And we're going to rest it here to cool. Okay, all right. So we're going to do the brown stew. So I've put the pot onto the fire, and I've already added my Maggi all-purpose and my fish seasoning with my natural onions, sweet pepper, tomato, a little ketchup, and a little browning just for color, very little. And then we're going to put this too. Because the fish is a little bigger than normal, we might need to make a little more sauce that it is really well marinated into your sauce. So we go back again for our all-purpose and our Maggi fish season up. We'll add just a little salt. Or pepper, or carrot, we'll put into, and we're going to cover that shortly. I won't add any more browning. As I said, the browning is really just for a little color. But there's enough flavor in your Maggi all-purpose and your Maggi fish season up. I'm going to fix the fire stick so that we can get a good blaze. Oil is what we use to intensify the flame. This is a Dutch pot and it is good for fish. Our own Jamaican made Dutchie. It keeps the temperature warm and it doesn't stick. While that is being done, I can go ahead and plate my fish, my fried fish. We're not going to use that or this because they were used on the uncooked meal. So we're going to take a new set of tongs. All right, I'm fixing now your fried fish plate. Of course, you know we garnish with your onions and pepper, which is already made and marinated in a vinegar sauce. At Prendergast, we normally add carrots to our escovitch sauce, cucumber, and our chocho, which gives a good flavor when it's marinated in the vinegar. This is what your fried fish meal looks like with your Maggi fish season up for seasoning. All right, and we're going to turn to Mr. Brown stew. The pot's supposed to be bubbling now. Let me just lift. I'm still not getting the... Oh, yes, it is. So I'm going to give it another 3 minutes, and then I'll add the fish so that the carrots and stuff can be cooked. I'm gonna fix the fire stick as I go along by adding another piece of logwood. Logwood burns well, and that's why we use the logwood. If we have to mix our we would mix it with pimento, thinking peas. There's another one that I get from Monig, that they use. We normally mix it with the logwood. It's hardwood that counts in cooking. Fruit trees are not good for cooking fish, because when they burn out, you get a lot of coal. If you notice, these are burning out, but they're still very solid in terms of not dusty. When you use the fruit trees, you get a lot of ash. If you looked at the pot before adding that piece, and look at your pot now, you see it's definitely bubbling. So that's what I talk about. It has to be at a certain temperature. So I'll add my fish in a few minutes. All right, so let's get ready. So we'll move the plantains from the fish. And remove your vegetables. I always like to use all right, here goes. And you want to get your fish submerged in the sauce and get your seasoning and stuff on top. I'm gonna cover that for about 10 minutes and we're good to go. I am beating my scallion, and just to add to the top of my brown stew that the juices will know, you get that final seasoning taste, fresh. Everything won't be cooked out. I wish you could smell it. It smells good. We could also use the bami that has been fried. So let's do that. Just take 2 pieces and we're going to put it in the brown stew sauce. So bami can be brown stewed as well. It doesn't always have to be steamed. And again, I'm going to blaze my fire. If you notice, I try to keep the fire going at a certain temperature and a certain blaze, that it spreads right around the pot. So you don't find that just one side of the fish is being cooked, but right around you get an even flame, which will give you an even spread. Unlike gas stove where you can turn down, although they always tell me I can turn the wood fire down by pulling bits and pieces from the flame, what I like to do is to check on my pot to make sure that I don't have any burning, any sticking, but everything is being cooked evenly. And if you get a shot in the pot, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to change the angle of the pot. We're going to give it some more oil, and then when this cools down, then we can remove the fish and it can be plated. We can add okra. Not everybody likes okra on their brown stew, but we can add some. And you at Prendy's we do put okra on our brown stew fish, but of course it's basically the last thing that we put onto the fish, because okra cooks very, very easily, and we don't like when you get a brown stew fish and the okra is very soggy. It should still have some amount of crunch to it. So by the time I put this in and close the pot, a minute or two, and we're ready to go. And carrots, please don't overcook your carrots when you're doing vegetables on a whole. Persons would say, boy, the carrot never cook. Yes, it is. It has been cooked, but you don't want to cook out all the nutrients out of your vegetables. Vegetables must always have some amount of crunch in it. All right, so we can get ready now to take Mr. Brown Stew from the pot and to plate him. Woo. We don't want to cover the fish. So when you're plating, you put some of your veg on the fish, but you don't want to cover. People must know that it is a fish that is in the plate. And of course, we're going to put a little of the sauce. In Prendy's kitchen, this is exactly what would be done, so let me just do it. your brown stew. This is how we do your fried fish and your brown stew fish at Prendy's on the beach. We couldn't have done it without the Maggi Fish Season Up and the Maggi All-Purpose. Thank you for making it Maggi Magician Cooking Lessons. I hope you learned something. Don't forget your Maggi flavor box, full of flavor. I've taught you how to do the Prendy style, but you can also find your own niche in how you cook your meals. And guess what? If you don't feel like cooking, come to Prendy's. We are located at Hellshire Beach in Portmore. Hey, you don't want to come over? Dial 7 Crave, place your order and have it delivered. Make it Prendy's. We are seafood just the way you like it.